Good morning and welcome, YouTubers. Today it is Monday, January 29th, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're not new here, thanks for coming back. So like I said, today is Monday, new week. Today, it's a little bit different this morning. As I told you guys last week in my vlog that my boyfriend was out of town. He was in San Francisco. And so today's the last day. He comes back today. He was at the game. Go Niners. They won yesterday. Very, very close. So he's on his way back today, but my mother-in-law still has to take my son to school today. So I left him at her house last night because my boyfriend's nephew had a birthday party yesterday, and so I just left my son there because it was just easier for her to take him to school from there. And then I felt bad for my daughter because, you know, if you are a mom with two and you know it's like whatever one does the other one wants to do, it's, you know, it's always usually kind of a package deal. So she was, you know, upset yesterday because she wanted to stay with my sister, but I ended up leaving her with my mom because she was okay with that. Like, you know, it's so funny because it's like if one is doing something, the other one's like, well, how come I'm not doing it too? So needless to say, I don't have any kids this morning, and so I was like all by myself. So I was able to get up and have like a slower morning, and so, which is interesting. I should have vlogged in my house because no one was there, so I didn't have to be quiet like I normally do. But anywho, yeah, I mean, it was just me getting ready, letting the dogs out, all that good jazz. But yeah, he should be home today, and then we'll be back to our regularly scheduled program tomorrow. But yeah, so the good thing is that this week I actually have everything planned and prepared for my kiddos at school. I stayed late on Friday, as you saw from my vlog last week, to kind of prepare and everything for today. So I wouldn't be like scrambling to get to work and making copies and all that good jazz. So, and I even updated my slides, so I should be good. So I'm like very prepared this Monday morning. So that's good. So today we are going to continue working with figurative language. We're going to continue to work with similes. So I've kind of just based off of what we did last week, I can kind of tell that my students get similes, like in terms of like if it's given to them, like if they know, they look for the like and the as and the comparison, so that's good. But I think the thing that I think is throwing them off is when we did the apply it, a lot of them didn't see the simile in the story. So, and that's kind of what the end goal is, to be able to identify it when you see it in the story. And then just, you know, obviously being able to compare the two things. I think they got that part okay. So like when they would get something, they know kind of what they're comparing, but then it's like when they were reading the story, I don't know where the disconnect was. So we're going to do that again today. We're going to use the same concept or whatever. And then this time I'm going to just, you know, check and see who's really struggling with that component or whatever. And so, yeah, I think we're going to do that. Obviously, we'll do our making words. I actually am going to do it a little bit more by the book, because the only thing I think I wasn't doing was the index cards and the pocket charts. But I made index cards. I'm going to put them in the pocket chart. And then I'm actually using the 5th grade one today because I've been using the 3rd grade one. And I'm going to try to bump it up and see how the 5th grade one looks and see how that works. Because it seems like they were doing pretty good with 3rd grade. So I'm going to bump it up to that one. I couldn't find the 4th grade one, so I'm going to try 5th grade. And if it's too hard, then I'll bump it back down to 4th. And then, we're going to try to start our opinion writing today. So that's going to be on the agenda for this week. And we have access testing, I think, at the end of the week. Like Thursday and Friday in the afternoon. So that's about it. So I am just headed to work, and then I think I should probably go straight. Yeah, so I'm just headed to work, so I'll probably be there around like 8 o'clock, so probably within the half hour. So hopefully you had a great weekend. Hopefully your Monday morning is starting off fabulous, and I'll check in with you guys a little bit later. So I just made it to school, and you can see it's still pretty quiet. My kiddos are not here yet. They don't come probably for about another 25 or so minutes. But I was curious as I was going through like things on my desk or whatever, and I had some papers that I hadn't returned that I graded, and I was just curious. So I normally don't return papers back to my kids because I've noticed, and I don't know if this is just 5th grade or if this is all grade levels, but like a lot of them tend to just like, I'll hand them back their work, and like 9 out of 10 times they'll ask me like, do I have to keep this, or do you need this back? And I'll be like, no, it's yours, I graded it or whatever. And they'll just like either leave it or toss it out. And it's just amazing that like, I mean, I know they like the instant gratification, and I know they like seeing their grades, but I'm like, a lot of them will just throw the papers away. Even if, it'd be one thing if they like got a low grade and they're like, I don't want to see this. But like they'll get A's and they'll still throw them away. And so I was just curious. I wonder if, you're a teacher here and you follow me, like, is that happening in your classroom too? And I mean, it's not just like this class, like it's been the past few years where I'll return back work, and they'll just be like, they'll either leave it in like their desk. And the thing with me and the school that I'm at, like we switched seats, or we switched classes, so none of them like leave things in their desk. So I'm like, they'll just leave it there, or they'll just leave it on their desk for garbage, or they'll just toss it. And so I'm just curious, like, do people, or like other kids do that? I mean, I don't know. Like normally I'll grade it, and then like lately I've just been grading them and tossing them because I'm like, they don't want them back, or they don't care to have them back. I don't know. So I was just curious, but yeah, I'm gonna finish. Like I said, I'm already prepared. I have everything in my drawers. I just was kind of cleaning off my desk because, believe it or not, I stayed here late and did everything that I needed to do. I just did not clean off my desk too well. So I'm gonna do that now, and then yeah, I'll check in with you guys later. I was just curious about that because I'm like, I don't know who else does that, but I don't know. We'll check in later. Good afternoon. It is 12 o'clock, which means it is lunchtime. Actually didn't get a chance to vlog during PLC because we actually have switched up our PLC today. So we were doing literacy. Normally on Mondays we do like dual, and so it's just usually me and my counterpart. We just talk about some of the students and just what's going on. But today they switched it up. So what we did this morning was our agenda was we worked on our word ladders. We did our question of the day. So they write them in their notebooks just to kind of give them some writing. And so I gave them the question if they were going to be on a stranded island for a year, what would they bring along with them? And so they wrote about that. Then we watched CNN 10, and then we did our making words. So I feel like our making words really came out good today with the index cards. Let me kind of show you a little bit about what we did. I took the index cards down because my next class, we're going to kind of do it all over again. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to record it so you guys can kind of just see it. Like I'll just have my phone recording in the background. So these were the words that we used today, and so we ripped them up. I always try to have them make sure that they have it like this with the red, everything vowels and then consonants, and then kind of having them in alphabetical order, but also, kind of using that. And then these were the index cards that I did. So like we did, so every time I said the word, I would put it, and then I put it in the, I'm like spinning you around, I would put it in there, and so like it would be up there visually for them to see. So as we went through all the words, the last word that we came up with was planetarium, and so that was kind of like our secret word. And so this one was a little bit better because it was a little bit more challenging. So a lot of the kids there was only like maybe a couple of people, my higher group kids that kind of got the word or whatever. But it was really good to see that a lot of the kids actually were able to spell the words. There was only maybe about 2 or 3 that really struggled. Not with spelling. Well, yes, with spelling the words, because they didn't, like, when we started getting into words like, sorry, I don't want to take them all. Okay, so for example, I mean, this is not one of the words, but like unreal. Once we started getting into using like the suffixes and prefixes, the root word is what they were struggling with. So like they knew to put whatever prefix I asked them for, but it was like the root word where they were struggling with. And then the last part that we did, I know I'm kind of talking fast, was we did like some of the words. So there's 6 new words that I gave them that was like unfair, unpainted. So like, for example, unpainted. So the nice thing was that since I had those words up, they kind of knew, okay, I can use that to spell. But then when they got to like words like rebuild and refill, that was, I think, where they struggled with spelling the word build or fill for some of my lower students. And so, but there was only like a couple. So that was nice. A lot of them, because I was able to give them those root words, or I'm sorry, the prefix, suffix, they were able to kind of muscle through it, and they actually did it, and it was really good. I was very excited. Some of the kids that I thought might have struggled with it did really well, so I'm happy with that right now. So, but I'm going to try to see if I could record a lesson, because the thing is, if the kids see that I'm recording, like, I don't know, a lot of teachers, like, I don't know if you guys struggle with this, if you guys vlog, but if you kids see that you're vlogging, they like want to be in it, and they're like, you know, they're just more into it. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe I can set up the camera where they don't notice, and then I can just kind of have it recording. Hopefully that'll help. Maybe they won't see it, so I can kind of just show you like how the lesson goes. Worst case scenario, maybe I can do like a lesson, like just a mock lesson or whatever. And then we were going to do the opinion writing. We still haven't gotten to this. But the reason being was that I wanted to start my novel study today. And so here, let me show you what I got. Katie in elementary kind of gave me this idea with her novel study. And so I created a template for we're going to be doing fish in a tree. And so like, I know she said that her kids were really excited about coloring. So I did like a cover page with that. I didn't print out the whole packet yet. I figured we would put these together as we go. I know she had like folders for the kids, but my kids are just like, they'll like either lose it or they'll just kind of like work ahead. And I kind of just want us all to be on the same page. I mean, I know we should have them working ahead, but I want them all to be on the same page, at least because this is the first novel study that we're doing together. And so this was the sheet that I had them fill out. Here, let me make it bigger so you can kind of see what it looks like. Okay, so, oh, actually, you know what? I have it up here. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, so this was the Fish in a Tree pre-reading thoughts. So I gave them statements based on kind of what the book is about. Now, some of my kids have read this book already, like they read it on their own. So I was like, well, we're gonna deep dive through this book anyway, so it's good that you read it, you can reread it, and they're okay with it. But, so like I gave them, like, teachers have always made me feel good about myself, because if you've read The Fish in a Tree, you would know that these statements kind of go along with the main character. Teachers always know what's best for me. Without friends, you will always feel lonely and alone, or alone and lonely. And then I feel like I fit in with all of my other classmates academically. I always ask for help when I need it. And these kind of just really hit home with the main character, the protagonist. And so I had them agree or disagree, and then I had them explain their answer. And so I'm going to read through those today and kind of see like what, just see kind of look, I know my camera's a little bit fuzzy, but I'm going to have them kind of see like what they answered and explain their answer. And I think tomorrow morning when we come in, we're going to do a 4-corner with these questions to kind of see like, okay, or I guess a 2-corner, so to speak, with agree or disagree. And then kind of see where they are like visually, so everybody can kind of see if they, you know, where their answers are. And then we're going to kind of start going into the novel study. So yeah, so that was pretty much my day that we kind of went into. The making words was the one that took the longest. Oh, and then we also did the the one that I showed you with the similes, where we did the squares. So I gave them about 10 minutes, and I had them work together with a partner, so that way they can kind of work together and see like where the misconceptions lie. So I'll take a look at those as well. Well, I walked around the room and I sat with some groups to kind of see like what their thinking was. And yeah, like I said, the one where they're coming up with one is like really a struggle for them now, because it's like it's hard for them to take out the literal, especially like kids when English isn't their first language. It's hard for them to understand figurative language when it's like not their first language, and they don't understand the difference between like saying one thing. And I mean, it's not even them. Like, it's funny because one of my groups, like during deer time, they like to, so one of my girls likes to read to the other kids in the group, and they all sit there and they listen, and it's so funny. And so today she had asked me, she was like, what does this mean? And they had used a metaphor in that section of the book, and she was like, oh, she's like, why did they use that? And I said, what's a metaphor? They're comparing it to something else. But we didn't really go much into what the metaphor was, because I know metaphor can be really hard for them. So but it was just interesting that kind of came across that way. So yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I'm going to continue to work with them. I think I might pull some read alouds. I know those are helpful. I'm going to pull some of those read alouds and kind of read, so that way kids can kind of see the comparison, because I think that's the point that they're missing, is like they know that there's a comparison, or they know that there's a like and as, but it's like, I think finding things to compare, like we talked about coffee, and like there was they just didn't know to say, like, I think one kid said like, oh, that coffee is as black as nighttime, and I was like, that's perfect. But then some of them would just say like, oh, you know, that coffee, you know, is steaming, you know, or just something that was more literal. And so yeah, I'm struggling, but I think it'll be okay. I think they'll be fine, especially once we start moving into the other ones that are a little easier, because I think probably what I'll end up doing next is I'll probably do onomatopoeia, which is the sound words. So that might be a little easier for them, but we'll see how it goes. But I'm gonna eat my lunch. I brought pizza, leftover pizza from the party yesterday, from my boyfriend's nephew's party. And so, oh, and I printed out the books, because I do have the books, The Fish in a Tree. I have some of them that I checked out from my local library, but I want to say they only have about 16 copies, and I have a Spanish one, so I'm going to have to make copies on that one for my 4 kids that need it, so I'm going to have to do that tomorrow. But I do have, I think, the library overall, but right now I think I only have a certain amount of copies, so I might just, because I can print up, I think I found 10 chapters online, so I think that I'm going to use those 10, or I think maybe more. So I'm going to use as many as I can online until we get to the point where I can't use them anymore, or they don't have any more, and then maybe I'll use the book, or I'll just make copies of the book. I don't know. Only because like I've already attempted to check these books out 3 times, and I've missed the dates because they only hold them for so long. And like the last time I checked them out, I was still in San Fran. I was supposed to come back the day that it was checked out, and so or I was supposed to check them out. It was my last day, and so I didn't even get a chance to do it. But I will check in with you guys at the end of the day and see how everything's going. How is it going? So I sorry, my children decided to fall asleep in the back of my car on my way home. I just wanted to pop on here really quickly just to kind of sign off for the day, because I totally forgot to sign off because I was just so busy at the end of the day, and I lost my walkie-talkie at work. I don't know what happened to it. I had it on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, and then on Friday I couldn't find it, and so I haven't been able to find it. So I'm like praying that I didn't accidentally knock it in the trash and it getting thrown out. So, and I don't know how else to like find out where it would be. So I don't know, I'll have to ask somebody tomorrow, because I'm like, I don't know where it is. And I had a couple of kids ask or look around my room, and I can't seem to find it. So I don't know what happened to it or whatever. So anywho, yeah, so the rest of the day was pretty decent. One of my students, he was just a little bit much, and so unfortunately I had to kind of send him out. So him and this other student are like one of my bigger problems. Like they just are just so extra, and I have a lot of just extra people in there. So I don't know. I've been following this one chick on TikTok who, you know, I kind of agree with her on the whole class incentives things. Like, I mean, I know that my kids, so here's an example really quickly, just on my soapbox. So I was following Kristen Carino. She has like a thing where they like do posters. She does like an anchor chart, and then they have to like fill up a certain amount of things for them to earn like a prize. And so I was doing that. I mean, shout out to her. I mean, her posters are really cute, really sweet, and I mean, I feel like it would normally work. I don't know, for some odd reason, just not that it didn't work, because I did. Let me back up. So they did work fine, because both of my classes earned a movie day. So they were working out pretty well. The only issue that I had was the kids that earned a movie day, my second class, the one that I seem to have the most behavioral issues with, they actually had earned a movie day, and so I was giving them the option of voting, because my kids are a little older, so it's like, you know, I don't really necessarily have to pick and choose. I mean, obviously I give them the option of it having to be like PG and, you know, kid friendly, and that we can't watch anything appropriate at school. So I let them vote, and so then I put like a Google survey up, and then they vote. So I guess apparently, I don't know if I did something wrong, or I didn't know if like I don't know if there was a thing on there. Maybe there is, and I just didn't know. But to put it where you can only vote once. So a couple of my boys thought it was the same boys that are, you know, a little extra in my room, decided that they wanted to vote this movie like a bunch of times. And so everybody was mad, because obviously me seeing all these votes, and I'm like, okay, well, this is the movie at 1. But then I started realizing, like, okay, there was like a bunch of votes for like this one movie. So I told the kids, because they came in the morning and they're just like, this person just voted, and they voted like 50 times and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. So I already knew about the situation, and I said, okay, we will re-vote in the afternoon for the movies that were chosen, and then we'll kind of just do like a in-person vote. And so before we even got to our afternoon class, they had already went to lunch and recess, and they had this big blowout. The kids were like teasing the boys that picked the movie, telling them that it was so babyish and childish, and just, it was like a big thing that like I had to cancel the movie day. Several kids got in trouble because they started getting very physical, and I don't mean like fighting, but they started like one of them like, you know, pushed another, and just a bunch of things just happened, and so I had to cancel the movie day. So even though the incentives work in terms of behavior, but it was like that, because of their behaviors, led to them not receiving the incentive that they won, which was pretty sad, because I'm like, you guys earned it. So I think taking a step back from incentives is kind of where, like, what my idea was. And so so I've been following this chick, and she was talking about that, and I was kind of like, yeah, I kind of agree. You know, we shouldn't have to incentivize kids to do the right thing, or to do the things that they're supposed to do, right? I mean, I know we get incentivized by getting paid, you know, to come to work or whatever, but it's like, I don't know, it's just a catch-22. But anyway, so so I was following her, and so I was thinking about doing, like, incorporating some routines and procedures into my thing. And I mean, I have done the whole modeling thing, but I think that with these new behaviors that have just been happening here and there and in between, I think we need to kind of review those. And I know I should have done them in the beginning of coming back from New Year's, but with all the like e-learning days and just the snow days, things just we haven't had like a really big full week. So I'm thinking that I'm gonna do that tomorrow, along with like our typical stuff or whatever, but we'll talk more about that in the morning. So I'm just going to, I'm almost home now, so I'm gonna get home, get these guys in the house. I'm hoping that they wake up, because it's only like 5:15 here, and they shouldn't be sleeping right now. So, but I think my son has just been very tired. They've had such a long weekend, and so I think that they're just kind of like, you know, sleep deprivation is catching up with them. But anywho, but yeah, so I hope you have a great Monday evening, and I will see you guys in the morning on the way to school, okay? how's it going? So I totally missed you guys in the car today. It was a change of routine this morning. I had to drop my daughter off at my sister-in-law's house because my mom is taking my niece to the doctor today for her foot, and so she couldn't watch her, so I had to drop her off there. And then funny story, the town that I'm living in, I don't know if everybody's town does this, but they have like a Facebook page, and they do like, it's called Buy Nothing. And so like when people want to get rid of things, rather than taking them to Goodwill, they post them on this web page, and then you can, you know, hit the person up and then decide if you want to buy or get the stuff for free. And so my mom has been complaining about a shovel, like a metal shovel. She has like a plastic one, but she likes the metal one to like break ice when it's really thick outside. And so she was complaining about it, and someone had one. And so I had asked about it, and I was going to pick it up yesterday, but just with my boyfriend getting back from San Fran and just everything, I totally didn't have the chance to go get it. And she lives like maybe like 5-6 minutes from my house. And so I tried to go there this morning, but she had removed it from the spot she had said it was in. So I think she just assumed that I flaked, because a lot of people on that page usually do. They've done it to me before, where they're like, oh, I want an item, and then they just never come. So I had to message her this morning, and I was like, I'm not a flake. I'm like, I really do want to. And I tried to stop there this morning, they said, but it wasn't there. So she was just like, yeah, I just thought you weren't coming. So I took it off. But she said she still has it. She's going to put it out for me so I can pick it up this afternoon, which I'm going to do. So that's why I didn't vlog in the car. But I'm here now. Thankfully, I printed out my word ladders and everything that I needed for today in terms of like the making words, word ladders, cursive, all that good jazz. I do need to print out my pages for my book, because we're going to start that today. And then I just need to, I actually was online yesterday looking at some figurative language, and I came across ReadWorks. And so they had some good passages with similes, so I'm going to have them do that today. I know we've spent a few days on similes, but I just really want them to get it, and I feel like they're almost there. I think the hardest challenge for them is like coming up with similes. So but the good thing is that when they do test in MAP, I think it's more of an identification than it is coming up. So so I think that at this point, after today, I think we'll move on to a different figurative language. But I'm going to have them practice just a little bit more today. And then, yeah, that's about it. So, yeah, I'm going to get my things together because it is 8:06 and the kids are here at 8:20. So I'm going to get my copies and stuff done, but I'll check in with you guys later on in the day. Welcome to my afternoon. So, we made it to lunch. Don't judge me. I literally brought in like a chicken patty with like cheese, and then I don't even have hamburger bread. And it's funny, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm Puerto Rican and I grew up poor, so like I remember being like at home, and you just find things to eat that go well together. And so like we never had hamburger bread. We would always have just bread, and my mom's like, it's bread, use it. So it's just funny. But my boyfriend, who's bougie, I would say, he will not eat one of these on hamburger or on regular bread. He's like, we don't have hamburger buns. And I'm like, we have regular bread. And he's just like, I won't eat it. So I don't know. He grew up bougier than me, apparently. So yeah, so I just use regular bread, and then I just have some ketchup, mustard, and then I have like a granola bar or whatever. But that's my lunch today. We haven't gone to the grocery store since we've been out of town. And so my brother, what's wrong with me? My boyfriend just got back yesterday from San Francisco. And so I haven't gone to the store. Like, I have food for my kids in terms of like stuff that they eat. Like, we just didn't have any dinner stuff for us because my kids don't really eat what we eat. I know it's bad, and don't judge me. But I mean, it's just like right now they're just like on basic mode, where it's like they don't want to try all these things. And it's like, as much as a lot of people are just like, well, they're not the adult, like you force them. But I'm like, I try to think to myself, like, I get it, they're 5 and 6, but at the same time, it's like, how would I feel if someone was forcing me to eat something that I didn't like? Now, I'll always have them try something, and if they're like, I don't like it, then I'm not going to force them. But 9 out of 10 times, if they don't like something, I'm not going to make them eat it, because I can tell you how many times in my life, even as an adult, people have tried to get me to eat seafood.
excuse me, I don't like seafood. It's disgusting. It smells nasty. And everyone always says that they cook it better. It's not supposed to smell and blah, blah, blah. And they give me all this spiel about it. I just don't like it. It just doesn't appeal to me. It's gross and I just don't like it. So when people try to offer it to me and they're just like, just try it, it's like, I'm even worse than my kids. I won't even try it because I'm just like, I don't want it. I just don't want it. It just doesn't appeal to me. It's like, when I see it, I'm just like, so I try to sympathize with my kids and just be like, you know what, if he doesn't like that, I'm not going to force him to eat it, because I think that's just going to develop some kind of eating disorder, and B, it's like, I want them to be able to voice their opinion. And, you know, if they don't want something, I don't want to feel like they're forced. I want them to be able to make their own decisions. Now, again, that doesn't go for everything, because there are things in life that I know for a fact that you're not making a decision until you're 18 or until you're old enough to be of sound mind and body. But with food, it's like, I mean, I'm not sitting here saying, oh yeah, you can have chips all the time, but it's like with certain things that I know my son doesn't like, I'm not going to force him to eat it. And so, you know, if he doesn't like something and he wants something else and it's a healthier alternative, or it's healthy, or it's not bad for him, then yeah, I will. And I mean, I don't know. I know some people have, like my boyfriend's grandmother has given me stuff about the fact that, you know, you eat whatever was on the table, and if you didn't eat that, then you didn't eat. And I'm like, I mean, my parents were kind of like that too in the beginning, but then I think they also got to that point where it was just like, well, you know, I'm cooking this, and if you don't eat this, then you're going to have to fend for yourself. And I mean, my kids, they're not really that bougie. I mean, they're pretty basic. So like, you know, I'll make them chicken nuggets. I'll make them macaroni and cheese. I'll make them like a grilled cheese sandwich, or I'll make them something simple, you know, and 9 out of 10 times when I'm making that for them, I eat it too. So whatever. Anyway, sorry, that was just my little bit mini soapbox. So what we did today was, so we did our making words. I didn't record it. I wanted to record it because I wanted to post it, just to kind of show how it goes. But I think I'm going to record it. Maybe I don't want to do it this afternoon because I know that my kids in the afternoon are very rowdy. So I'm going to try it tomorrow. I'm going to set a reminder and I'm going to try my best to do it tomorrow morning, because my kids in the morning are a little bit more calm, and just kids are calm in general because they come back from recess and lunch and it's just like their minds are gone. So, so I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to try my best so I can post how it's to be done. And then we did do that. We worked on, so I gave them this. I found this on ReadWorks. I think I told you guys this morning. It was a passage, and I differentiated. I got, some of my kids had this passage, and then we all had this one together so the goal was for them to be able to identify in this one what the similes were, as well as this one. But in this case, I wanted them to write what they were comparing and then give the literal meaning. So not only are they giving me the skill that they can identify it, but that they can actually apply it, or they can write it out and know what they're comparing. Because in the end, I was telling them, I'm like, if they're reading something that has similes in it, you can identify them all day, but then it's like, are you really understanding what they're comparing? Excuse me. Because that's the goal of the figurative language, is to see what the author is trying to tell you, that he's trying to compare in the story to make it more visual to you. And so this one was the one for my my higher grade kids, and then I also gave them that other one. So I have to make more copies of these for my afternoon students. And then we also read the book. We started on the first 2 chapters of Fish in a Tree. They really liked it. They seemed like they enjoyed it, and it seems like they're understanding it a little bit better. It's funny because I had them do that survey, and I was reading them yesterday, and I was just so sad about how some of them said that, like, no teacher has really ever made them feel, well, not necessarily no teacher, but like that sometimes teachers really didn't make them feel good about themselves. And I felt so bad for them, because I'm like, that's what we're here for. Or like, I think a chunk of my class said that when they need help, they don't ask. And I felt really bad about that, because I'm like, you know, my job is for that. And, you know, I reassured them. I'm like, look, man, I'm like, if I sometimes give you a little hard time about when you're not doing something or whatever, or you're feeling a certain way, it's because I know what you're capable of. And so I push your buttons because I know that, like, when you're giving me this like lazy attitude and not wanting to do stuff, like I know that you're capable of more. It's not because I'm trying to like, you know, just be a jerk to you. But in the end, I'm like, I want you to ask for help. Like, that's my job. And, you know, I told him, I was like, in the end, honestly, that's what I get paid for. So if you want the government to pay me money to not do my job and to not do things that, you know, 'cause that's kind of how they look at it in certain points. They're like, oh, well, you know, you're getting paid. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not the reason why I do it. I mean, yeah, I mean, of course I need to provide for my family, but I'm here for you, and I'm here for you to make you better and to you know, show your potential. And it's like, I want you to feel comfortable to ask me anything. I mean, I don't even care if I yelled at you 5 minutes ago. Like, when we're on to the next task, ask me. Like, I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm not going to be upset with you. Like, I tell them every day, I treat it like a new day. Like, when you come in my class, we could have had a falling out the day before, and then you're going to walk in my class and I'm going to greet you so happily, and I'm going to be so happy that you're here. Because it's like, we can't hold on to it because we'll never get past it, you know, and holding on to grudges just doesn't help. So I was really sad to see that some of them did say that a lot of them don't ask for help when they need it. And so that scares me, because I'm like, what are you missing out on that you're not really asking for help? And is that the reason why you're struggling? Or is it you're struggling because you really don't know it, or you're just confused and you need guidance? So I don't know. But yeah, so we're going to rinse and repeat this afternoon, and we're going to do it again this afternoon. But I'm thinking tomorrow, definitely, I will record my session of doing the making words, because the kids seem to really like it a lot, and I see them really motivated to doing it. And I think a lot of them are really motivated to find the word. And it just, some of my kids, I mean, there's still a few that I think are kind of just like on the fence. But I did see a few of my kids that were normally like in the background, and they kind of just stayed in the wings, are stepping up, and they're actually doing it, and they're actually volunteering, and they actually figure it out. And I'm like, that's what I'm looking for. I mean, I can't save everybody, but I can try to save the ones that, you know, want to be saved. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to eat my lunch because I have about 30 minutes, less than, maybe 27. And then I got to make copies as well. So I'll check in with you guys at the end of the day. I hope you guys are having a great Tuesday, and I'll talk to you guys later. Hey, so we made it to the end of the day. Everything went really good. My second class, we did really good with our words. We did our sort this way. Yeah. And then, yeah, so they are really enjoying this. And I think the crazy thing about it is some of my higher kids are like really obsessed with finding the secret word. And so that's like what they focus on. So today, like, I had to get at some of my kids and be like, hey, like, I know you guys are excited about the secret word, but I need you to continue to keep spelling these words as well as the secret word. So like, they're just so fixated on finding the secret word that they don't, sorry, I'm like cleaning up everything here, that they're not really focusing on spelling the other words. And so I kind of had to hone them in and just let them know, like, hey, we're doing that as well. So that was a little bit of a challenge for my second group. However, overall, everything went really well. We got through the majority of stuff that we were supposed to get through. So I was excited about that. And we started reading our first couple chapters in Fish in a Tree. And so we just kind of talked about the characters, who they were so far. We've only read the first 2 chapters, so these are all the characters that we've come across in the first 2 chapters. Tomorrow, I think we're going to revisit the first 2 chapters and kind of talk a little bit about character traits and kind of start talking about some terminology and language in there, and maybe have them do some activities around that, because I don't want to just bypass and go to the next. I want to be able to make sure that they're understanding what we're reading and not just listening to me read. So that's what I was doing for today. I think for the first couple of chapters, maybe the first 5, I will read them together, and then eventually I'll kind of let them spin off to reading them in groups or together. Because I know this book is like not at everybody's level. So I do like the fact that we read it together so that nothing gets misinterpreted and we discuss it, but we'll see how it goes. But overall, it was pretty good. I can't complain. So I'm just going to pack up. And so these were the assessments that we did today. A lot of them did really well, especially some of my kids who struggle with spelling and like struggle with some stuff, they did really good with spelling, and I'm very, very proud of them, and they're starting to get really excited about it. So what I think I'm going to do is, I have this thing that I purchased online from TPT where you input all the spelling words that you want to use for the week, and it has all these different activities that you can use. You just have to plug in the spelling word. So I think I'm going to use those to kind of have the kids practice. So I think what my plan of action is I'm going to use these words that we did with our making words, and then I'm going to utilize 20 words from that whole bunch to kind of assess them at the end of the week for spelling. So like maybe that'll help them remember like the, you know, ER, EST, the RE words, so that way like it shows me that they understand, because I feel like they're doing a great job here and like doing it like at the end as an exit ticket, but I want to see if they can do it in action with all of them. So I'm going to try that on Friday and see how that works. But overall, yeah, like I said, I think it's going really well. I'm very excited. I'm going to try my best, if I remember, to record the lesson so you guys can kind of see it a little bit in action. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I remember. I don't know, maybe I'll put like a reminder on my phone, but I'm going to head out. I got to go pick up my daughter, and I got to be home by a certain time. So that's what I'm going to do. So I will talk to you guys probably tomorrow in the morning on my way to school. So hope you guys have a great Tuesday evening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. So today, just a bit of a struggle today. I don't know, like I'm tired-ish, and I went to bed early, but I wake up in the middle of the night and I stay up, and yeah, I don't know, I'm just feeling very blah this morning. But yeah, so, excuse me, I'm on my way to school. Should be there in about 15-20 minutes, give or take. And then yeah, you know, today me is upset at yesterday's me because I didn't print out my word letters. I fixed my words, my making words. Like I have my letters, I just have to print them out. Didn't print those out. I did make my index cards though, that I will say, so I was happy about that, but I didn't make the letters, or I didn't print them out. And then I was just looking through some of the things that we were going to do today. I think we're finally moving on from Simile, and we're moving into something else. Yeah, so, but I'm just so like, I don't know, I'm just so out of it, and I kind of need to wake up, or I just need to kind of get some energy and motivation in me. But hopefully the day goes by pretty quickly, because I'm just like so tired. And yeah, yesterday I had to rush out because I had to pick up my daughter. She was at a different babysitter yesterday, so my mom couldn't watch her because she had to take my niece to her appointment, and so my sister-in-law watched her for us. So usually, like, my mom doesn't care, like, if I'm running late or whatever time I pick her up, but, you know, I know that, like, with other people, it's like, oh, this time I'll be there. So plus my boyfriend said he had to go to the post office before 5, which he didn't even end up going, so I don't know why I rushed so much. But anyway, so yeah, yesterday me, boo to you, because today me is not happy about yesterday me. So but yeah, that's pretty much what we're gonna do. I think we might get into doing I don't know, I was thinking about introducing maybe onomatopoeia, just one of the easier ones, because today's Wednesday and we have 2 more days after today. So I figured I didn't want to do one that was a lot harder, because see that we only have a couple of days left, excuse me, in the week. You know, I wanted to do something that's a little easier for them, that's going to be easier for them to grasp and do. So yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much going to be our day. I'll check in with you a little bit later hopefully I don't fall asleep in class, but if not, maybe I'll take a nap at lunch. I don't know. I'm just so tired. And like I said, I went to bed at like, I don't even know what time I went to bed. It was like 11-ish. But, you know, I don't know. Sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night and then I'll have to put myself kind of back to sleep, and then my REM cycle starts all over again, and it's just like, yeah, I don't know. I miss those like days where I would just fall straight to sleep. And I would love to like take some melatonin or something, but I just fear that I'll probably sleep so good that I probably won't hear my alarm, and I'll probably be late for work. So, but I do have coffee, so maybe I should start drinking that. I have it, I just haven't started drinking it. But all right, well, I will check in with you guys a little bit later. Hope you guys are having a great hump day, and I'll check on you in a little bit.
Drop the E when adding
Drop the E
when adding ing.
Drop the E when adding an ing. So
Drop the E when hitting
it would still look like race, but you'd have to take that E off and add ing. Good? All right, now we can go ahead and put our letters back up because we're going to go into the next one. Now we're going to do another word we already did, but we're adding that ER, and it is glider. Glider. We already have the word glide, so what are we just adding to it? Well, we're adding but we already have the E in there, so we're just adding an R. But that would be glider. So that would be someone who glides. Remember, we said it's something or someone that does something.
No, it's a sugar glider.
Or a sugar glider, right? Because they do what?
They glide.
Exactly. All right, the next word.
Eleanor, you are so weird.
We're going to use one of our next words that we already used, which is dance. And we're going to do dancer. Dancer.
Dance. We did not do dance.
We did do dance. I said just dance.
Prancer.
Alright, so we're going to stick with dance. And we're going to drop the E and add what?
ing.
ing. Dancing.
What about
Wait, I can't wait.
Dancing.
France? I like French.
Sorry, I couldn't find the N.
Oh, I was like, there should be two. Oh, it's not dance. So remember, we got dance. And then we drop that E. And then add that ing.
Draw.
Where's I? Oh, found it.
You got it?
Yep.
Well, dancing. So what's going to come after that N?
S. C.
Got it? There you go. Brian's got it. He's on board. All right, now next word. Grinder. Grinder. So you can use two things. Someone that's grinding something. So like if I was grinding my beans this morning, or a grinder is like a machine that grinds the beans.
Ground beef. Grinding the corn. Ground beef. Grinding the corn for the chickens.
All right, we got a few more. We got three more before our mystery word.
Wait, have we used our missionary word, like first word?
We have not. Oh, yes, we have. Yes, we have.
Okay,
all right. Rancher is our next one. So this is someone that probably works on a ranch. Yeah.
Ranching first.
Like if somebody that works on like a ranch, like on a farm, they're a rancher. So the first ER. Hey, how's it going? We made it to PLC. And so, yeah, today's been going pretty good. We did our making words. We discussed that. We did our spelling. Sorry, I'm just like holding you all over the place. There we go. Yeah, so we did a lot of our stuff. Sorry, I'm just kind of in a rush because we're heading to PLC, but I just kind of wanted to jump on here to kind of tell you a little bit about my day. So as you saw, I was able to record a little bit of my making words. The one thing that I did miss in there, and I think it's because I was going kind of fast, was the word sort. So I'll probably have to record it again to kind of show you how we put up the word sorts together so that they can see and make the connection from the words that were like for example, like write to writer to writing, and they can just see like how they go together. And then we went back to our first and second chapter on fish in a tree, and then we just started talking about character traits we did find some similes in the story, and then we kind of just started talking about Allie and the character traits for her. I gave them a list of character traits that they can kind of go off of, and kind of talk a little bit about like what we've known so far. So some of them were kind of giving me like character traits like in the future, and I was like, well, we're only going to go with what we know and what we've seen so far. And then when we come back, we're going to read chapters 3, 4, and 5, and then I'm just going to have them working on these definitions. So they'll probably be working on these today and tomorrow, as well as these character traits that we'll go over together from the beginning. And that's it. So I'm going to head off to PLC. I'll catch you guys at lunch. To lunch. So when we get back from PLC or from specials, we were going to read chapters 3, 4, and 5, but the kids wanted to do independent reading. They wanted to do deer time. So I let them do the deer time, and I was like, all right, we'll, get back to it tomorrow. So we'll probably read those next 3 chapters tomorrow. So I went through the Post-it notes. I can't even think today. I went through the Post-it notes for our exit ticket today for our skill that we were doing with the ER words. And then, so some of them were getting a little tripped up with the doubling of the consonants. So like if they're adding an ED or an ING ending to it, they started to get a little tripped up on it. And so I think what I'm going to do is I am going to kind of teach that skill a little bit tomorrow and kind of talk a little bit about it. It wasn't everyone, so that's the good thing. So those kids that are struggling with that, I think I'm going to pull them tomorrow while the other kids are working on other activities for the spelling words. And then I'm going to pull them and kind of just give them the rules of adding and doubling up on those, the 1-1-1 rule or the 2-1-1 rule. Where if they're like adding the base word, if it has like one vowel, one sound, one consonant, something like that. Sorry, I'm like butchering it, I'm sure. Where they know to add that extra letter. Because I told them, I said, there's rules to spelling, and you don't wake up in the morning just knowing what the rules are. You have to kind of study them and know. So I'm hoping that'll help those kiddos that are struggling with adding that extra consonant that they're supposed to be adding. So I'm going to do that tomorrow with them. So it should be interesting. We'll be rinsing and repeating this afternoon. We'll be doing the same things. So I'll check in with you guys later. Welcome to the afternoon. I am leaving work, and just to kind of sum up my day of just not being the best. As I'm walking out, I don't know why, I put my coffee cup in my coffee cup container in my lunch bag, not checking to see if it was closed. So as I'm walking out, it's just spilling everywhere, and it's spilled all on my pants and in my lunch bag. So now I have to wash my lunch bag and all that wonderful stuff. And just waving at some of my colleagues that are directing traffic outside. But my afternoon wasn't too crazy. We did our making words. They were a little bit extra, but we had library today, so they were quiet for a little bit when they were doing independent reading. And then we did some spelling work pertaining to the skill focuses that we're doing. So I think tomorrow I'm going to pull those small groups after I looked at all the data that I got from my exit tickets, and I'm going to pull them and kind of show them a little bit about how we double up letters using the 1-1-1 rule, and kind of go from there. So that's about it. I'm just on my way to go pick up my daughter, and then I think I'm going to drop off my mom and my niece. She has physical therapy today, and so I'm going to drop them off at physical therapy, and then I'm going to head home, and then, I don't know, see what the day has in store for me. It looks like it's a little warmer outside. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking maybe I'll take my kids out. It's a little cloudy, but it looks like the snow has melted some. Maybe I'll take them out to the park or something. I don't know, just to kind of get them out of the house. So I hope that you had a great hump day, and I hope that
it went by fast for you, and now you're actually like me on your way home, and just looking forward to 2 more days before the weekend. And yeah, so hopefully everything goes well. So I was just waving at some of my students from last year that are walking home. So, and this boy just fell. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. There are a lot of like kids out here that are just running wild to get home. It is so funny. I'm sorry. Like, I wish you could see this, but it's just so funny. But yeah, so I will talk to you guys in the morning. Have a great evening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning. It is January. No, haha. 31 days gone. It is February 1st. Feels like a whole new year. So today, I'm on my way to school right now. It says I'll probably be there by like maybe 25-ish minutes. We'll see. Hopefully sooner. So today what are we doing today? I think today I'm going to introduce onomatopoeia to my kiddos, because we have about a couple of days before school, before the weekend. So onomatopoeia usually seems to be the easiest one for kids to identify as well as use, because I mean, it's pretty much like self-explanatory, in terms of like once they see like that they're just sound words and then they can see them. I think the only struggle with onomatopoeia that I think kids might have is coming up with their own, if they're supposed to be coming up with their own, like if they're making a story, just kind of coming up with those words, and then not only just coming up with the words but like spelling them, I think. So that's the only struggle that I really foresee. But other than that, I think them being able to identify them will be easy. Also, we have access testing in the afternoon for my ESL children, so there's not much elaboration that I want to do. Forgive the sun, it's very bright. But there's not much that I would want to teach right now, because this seems to help. Because we're having access testing, so my kiddos in the afternoon are not going to get as much exposure to a lesson, because they're going to be testing, and then whatever time we have left is what I'll have to use to teach the lesson. So if it could be something very simple, very easy, that would work pretty well. So just like my math teacher, she said that it's really hard when we do access, that she teaches a new lesson because, you know, some of the other kids are not getting it because they're testing. And so I totally understand. But it is Thursday, so that's the plus. So we'll be testing today, and we're testing tomorrow. And I think we're doing speaking today, and then I think we're doing speaking tomorrow. But I don't know. I think we've changed it up because my co-teacher wanted to make sure that we didn't take up the 2 days. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, we might do like half and half, because today's the speaking portion, and so they only allow us a certain amount of kids to be in the room because everybody's supposed to be talking. And so if I have 20 kids in there that are all trying to speak at the same time, it can be very difficult. So I think we might do half and half today. I don't know if we're expanding it 2 days or if we're just doing the half and half, but I'll have to ask her to see what she finally decided on, because she was the one that was like asking if we could do it the same day, just multiple groups, which is totally fine. I don't have a problem with that. It just, what'll end up happening is that it'll just take a little bit of longer time, but it is what it is, you know. Well, if we lose the whole day, that's fine, because then we'll just make it up tomorrow, and then my other kids will just be a little bit ahead, but not really, because like I said, onomatopoeia is very simple, very easy. So I don't think it'll be anything of an issue. So somebody got into a car accident this morning. Poor thing. Not too good. Anyway, but yeah, so that's my plan for today. And then we'll see how it goes. Oof, there goes that sun. I mean, I guess, you know what? I'm not going to even complain about the sun, because we've been in a cloud funk for weeks. This is the first time in a good minute that I've seen the sun and gotten some vitamin D. So as much as I'm blind right now and I can't really see, let me put this down and see if this helps. There we go. Yeah. And yeah, I know my sunglasses are in my bag somewhere, but I don't want to be looking through them while I'm driving. So maybe when I stop, I'll grab them. I know, right? Like, you're like, why is that my problem? Anywho, yeah, so I will check in with you guys a little bit later and let you guys know how the morning went. I hope you're having a great Thursday, and it goes by quick for you. Hey YouTube. Sorry, I was in the middle of eating something. I shouldn't have started recording. But I just wanted to check in with you guys. I'm on my way to PLC. So this morning, we worked on our making words. I just need to put these back in here. So we did those this morning. We did some of our reading for Fish in a Tree. We started working on the vocabulary as well as some character traits. We read the next 3 chapters. Well, we read 2. We haven't read the other ones. We also did my little exit ticket for my making words. We did our word letters. We did cursive. So we had a pretty good day. I was actually even able to meet with small groups with some of my kids that are struggling with the doubling up when we're adding ER, ING, or ED. And so I did get to work with about 4 of my students in small groups for that. So everything is going good. Today is a very good day. I'm super excited. My kids seem to be excited about what we're doing. So, and then we're going to be doing access testing in the afternoon. So we might end up having to do access testing all day because my counterpart said that she wants me to finish everything today. So that way she doesn't miss another day with tomorrow. So I'm all for it. It's fine. That way I can just get it all done today, and then next week we have 1 day for access testing, and then they're done. Thank God. All right, so I'm gonna go head over to PLC. I'll check in with you guys at lunch. Hope everybody's having a great day. I know I'm rushing. So we made it to lunch. 2 of my girls wanted to do a quick lunch bunch, so they just went to recess, so I was able to hop on here. But yeah, so when we got back from PLC or specials, we read the last chapter in Fish in a Tree. Sorry, I just dropped something. And so we read that last chapter, chapter 5, and then the students continued to work on the, well, they put them all away now, but they continued to work on the vocabulary words and the character traits. And so they threw them all up here like a big whole mess. But this is kind of what we were looking at. So something like this. Here, let me reverse so you can see it. Hold on. So this is what it looked like. I gave them the characters. And so they put what the trait was. So she put uncooperative, dumb, creative, and artistic, patient and calm. Mr. Daniels, we have been introduced to him yet. Shay, she gave her mean, smart, brave and confident, rude and evil, crazy, nice and caring, helpful, kind. That's the brother. And then commanding. So that's what she kind of gave. And then on the back side, these were just some of the words that I pulled out of the text for those 5 chapters. And so there's actually a website that actually has a lot of these words that I pulled out. So they just went on the website to, get the definitions so that they can kind of go along with the story and just know what they mean when the author uses them in the chapters that they are studying. And that was all we had for today, other than the making words that I showed you earlier. So, yeah, we're just going to try to do that. I don't know if we'll get a chance to do it next class because we are going to be access testing and we're going to be doing 2 sessions. So we're going to have them come in and then do about 8 kids. And then we're going to have the other half. Once this group is done, have the other half come in and do the other section. So I don't know how much time that's going to take, and it might take a little bit. So if it does, then we will definitely have to reconvene with this tomorrow. So, and look at that desk. That desk is just,
hot mess. So yeah, just, I don't ever have my life together, but it's, you know, organized chaos that I make work. So I'm sure lots of other teachers out there can relate, not type A teachers, but nonetheless. All right, so yeah, so that's going to be my afternoon possibly. So I will check in with you guys at the end of the day, let you know how testing went, and that's pretty much it. Again, hope you're having a great Thursday, and one more day to Friday. It's the end of the day. The day is done. So access testing went good. So now we don't have to do another day tomorrow. Got everybody tested for speaking, and everything was good. I literally had my afternoon class for maybe like a half hour. So we watched CNN 10, which is what we always do, and then we
Buses 2, 4, 5, 8 to the gym. 2, 4, 5, and 8 to the gym.
So we watched CNN 10, and then we read the next 2 chapters of the book. We didn't have a chance to read the 3rd chapter, so we'll read that tomorrow. And then I did give them their slips for their spelling test tomorrow for the words that we've been doing all week for the making words. So I'm gonna clean up, get out, and I think I'm gonna take my kids to the park because it is actually 50 degrees outside here in the Midwest. So, well, here in Chicago-ish. So it's 50 degrees, so I'm gonna go take my kids to the park, let them enjoy a little bit vitamin D before I make dinner, and then get ready for Friday. See you guys tomorrow.
Good morning. Can't you tell that it is Friday? Well, you probably can't tell. But my makeup's all done, which means it's Friday. Maybe. Well, these give it away too. Good morning to you. So yes, happy Friday. We made it till the end of the week, and we have made it to the end of January into February, and everything is coming up roses. A little bit. So today we are doing a couple of assessments. We're going to be doing a spelling assessment. I think I'm going to do a simile assessment with them. And then I think we're just going to answer some questions about the book, and then finish up our graphic organizer for the character traits as well as the definitions. And then I'm going to do something. I'm going to do a 4 corners activity. So one of these teachers I follow, Joanne Miller, head over heels for teaching. I met her at Get Your Teach On in last summer in Texas. And so, but I mean, I followed her for a few years, and then, you know, I finally got to meet her and actually attend one of her presentations, which was awesome. If you have not been to Get Your Teach On, I recommend that you go at least once. It was just so much impact. Like, it was just like educational, and it was just a lot of like teacher positivity and just so many ideas and so many things that you can like utilize in your classroom, and just so many awesome things. It is a little pricey, but I mean, I don't know, I felt it was worth it. And the crazy thing was that it actually was a lot more strenuous than like actually going to work, because I mean, their schedule was pretty like lengthy. Like, I think we would start at like 8 something in the morning. We wouldn't get out till like 5. So I mean, it's definitely worth the money. It's just a lot of money. I mean, not a lot, but a good amount, you know, for us teachers don't make a lot. But anyway, so yeah, so she does this activity called 4 Corners with like novel studies and books that they're reading aloud. And she has like 4 questions posted on the room, and then the kids like just rotate and they sit in that group and they discuss that question amongst themselves about the book that they're reading. So we've already gone through the first 5 chapters of A Fish in a Tree, and so I think what I'm gonna do is I printed out just 2 questions on like the character, and then like 2 on like the author's craft and the setting, I believe. And so I'm just gonna have them kind of discuss that before they start answering questions about like, because it's just like 5 questions that I have about the story so far, like, you know, about the main character and like, why do you think she's doing this and that? And then just, finding evidence in the text. So they're going to do that today as well. And I'm kind of thinking, so yesterday, right before my access testing, so my main principal, she's back from maternity leave. And I guess she's kind of doing her rounds of informal observations. And so the day before yesterday, or maybe even 2 days ago, one of my colleagues said that she came in and informally observed her. And so I feel like she's making her rounds. So yesterday when I was coming back from lunch with my students, she was standing at my door with her computer, which means that she was probably going to observe me. However, the person that works in my classroom, she's the one that usually relieves me for my prep period. But she teaches like the dual language. So like one day she'll do English, Spanish, whatever, for those 45 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever. She was like talking to her, and I guess she told her we were access testing that afternoon, which was yesterday. So I think she was like, oh, well, so I have a feeling that she's going to come in today because, she was going to come in yesterday. So I'm pretty sure I'm on her agenda at some point. So I'm just praying that, I was hoping that she would come in the morning, but I just remembered, I remembered last night that we have DARE in the morning. So if she came in the morning, anytime like before like 9, I think DARE goes to about 9:45, 9:45, because I think she's in from 8:55 to like 9:45, something like that. So if she comes anytime before that, then obviously DARE will be going on, so she can't observe me then. So I have a great feeling she's going to come in the afternoon, which is okay. Either way, it doesn't bother me that like she's coming in to observe me. Obviously everybody always gets nervous when people are coming in to watch them, like like going to the zoo and watching the animals perform. But the thing is that as you guys know, if you followed me, my afternoon class can be a little bit rambunctious, and I have a lot of like very playful children in there. So I'm just like, I know the behaviors are not the best, and so I think that's what worries me, is that those kiddos are gonna be like extra, and then it's Friday. So because I'm gonna do the Four Corners with them as well, but they're really hard with transitionings and doing things, and like they're really silly, and they just they're not like defiant or rude or anything. They just play too much, and it's like it gets really frustrating when they play too much, because it's just like I can't take it sometimes because I'm just like so playful, and so that's again why I don't teach primary. But yeah, so I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I'll let you guys know what happens if she comes in, or if I get lucky and I survive another week, and then maybe she'll come in one of the days in the morning with my morning class, because my morning class is usually pretty good. And not only are they pretty good, but I think it's because if the morning they're a lot more calm than if the afternoon after lunch and recess, yeah, not the best. So but yeah, that's gonna be my day. And then after school, my cousin is like cutting a cake for her son, who's turning 3 maybe. And so we might go over there with my kids, because they love my cousin's baby, and he doesn't really have many like younger kids to hang out with, because again, like all of us waited to have children so late that it's like all of the other kids are like grown already. They're like teenagers or above. So anywho, yeah, so I'll check in with you guys at PLC to see how things are progressing, and I hope you guys are having a fabulous Friday. I didn't stop for Starbucks. I brought my own coffee. I was going to stop, but then I was just like, you know what, I'll bring my own coffee today, and just kind of go with the flow. So all right, well, I will talk to you guys in a little bit, and again, hoping you're having a great Friday. So we made it to lunch. I didn't get a chance to record during PLC because I just kind of was like all over the place. It's Friday, so all we got to do today was, sorry, I'm just gonna grab my
thing to put you guys on because I'm going to sit over here and have my lunch. All we got to do today was our spelling test. We didn't really get to do much else because Dare came in and then, you know, we took the spelling test and then it was already just, hold on. Ooh, might not be able to see. There you go. Okay. All right. So yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so we didn't get a chance to really do much. We did our spelling test, which was good. I think it worked out really well. Most of my kids passed. Some of them struggled a little, had a couple wrong, but not too bad overall. I was very impressed with some of the students that did really well, that normally would be struggling. So I think this is helping them. So I might just keep doing the making words. I do like it, and I think that it really does help, especially a lot of the kids that are ESL that are learning new words. And then it's crazy because, you know, us being in the 5th grade level, and it's like we don't really do like phonics and things like that. I mean, we should be, but it's not embedded into the curriculum, and so it's like they just assume that kids at this age should know it, but unfortunately they still don't. So or either A, they've forgotten, or B, in this case, are a newcomer and don't understand like the English language very well. So but overall it was pretty good. Dare was good. Wasn't too crazy today. We never got to our 4 corners, and we had library today, so it was like when we got back from specials we had to go to library. So yeah, we didn't really get a chance to do much in the morning. So in the afternoon I feel like we'll get more done, especially since we don't have access testing today. So they'll come in and then we'll start right away with our, I think we'll start with our spelling test, and then I'll have them start working on, we'll go and discuss the chapters, and then we'll do the 4 corners. And then we'll start looking at character traits because they have not done the sheet where they have the character traits and vocabulary. So I'm going to have them start working on those because my other class didn't finish either because they have not met one of the characters that are on there. So they'll meet him in chapter 6, I believe. And so that'll be next week. So we'll kind of just have to pick up what we don't on Monday. So, but that's about it. So I'm going to eat my lunch. I brought some leftover spaghetti from yesterday. Oh, right here. So yeah, I have some leftover spaghetti from yesterday. I have a small little cherry Coke. I have a granola bar if I decide to eat. And then we did have like the breakfast thing, like every Friday a team brings breakfast. And so we did have that today. I did grab a couple of like little mini powdered donuts or whatever for like my dessert or whatever. So that's about it. So I will check in with you guys later. And yeah, hopefully again you're having a great Friday, and I'll talk to you guys in a minute. Well, either way, you could still ask a question to the main character.
Why does she not the principal?
Why does she what? No, you're just talking about it.
We're done.
We made it to the end of the day. So just like I predicted, she did come in the afternoon to come visit on a Friday after lunch. It wasn't too bad. A lot of good praises. The only thing that kind of went wrong was one of my students thought that it was a cute idea to ask for free choice, which I mean they always do, and then I always tell them no, but they always like shoot their shot. But I'm like, it would be the worst time that you would want to ask that when the principal's in the room. So that was fun because, you know, I get my email and she's like asking questions about that and all this other good stuff. So that was pleasant. But overall, I mean, she did have a lot of good things to say. But like I said, it's just little things like that just really get under my skin because it's like, I almost feel like the kids just like, I don't know. It's like, I feel like it's like Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong. So anywho, so yeah, so my last class, we read the last chapter of the book, chapter 5. We did the 4 corners. We took our spelling test, which a lot of the kids did really good on, so I was happy about that. And then we played a couple of games of Kahoots for similes, just to kind of practice. And that was about it. That was our day. So I think I'm going to end my vlog here because I'm going to pack up and go and just head on home. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this week. I don't know. I felt like it was very, I don't know, not necessarily fast, because I'm sure this vlog's not going to be fast when I look at the time when I edit the video, but I don't know. I just felt like I wasn't as productive this week as I should have been, but I think it was just the culmination of a lot of things. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you guys have any questions, you can comment down below. Like and subscribe this video. I will be posting another one next week. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend. And yeah, looking forward to some rest and relaxation. All right, take care.